So I want you to imagine, just for a second, a Venn diagram.
Okay.
And on one side of this diagram, you have ancient 2,000-year-old biblical scripture. And on the other side, you have the absolute latest, cutting-edge artificial intelligence software.
Right, which sounds like they should have absolute zero overlap.
Exactly. I mean, you'd think the circles are just miles apart. But today, we're looking at a source that puts them right on top of each other. Welcome to a brand new deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Because today's source material is, it's actually just a single audio recording. It's a March 18th message from Pastor Hu Zikang.
And the mission of this deep dive is to sort of unpack this really fascinating philosophical pivot he makes. He takes these very old, ancient warnings about, sensationalism, and he connects them directly to how we use AI tools in our daily work today.
Right. And I want to say right up front, if you're listening to this on your commute, or maybe you're prepping for some, corporate board meeting, or you're just a person trying to navigate this massive AI revolution without losing your mind, this is for you.
It really is. It provides this highly unexpected, but honestly brilliant framework for looking at the technology we use literally every single day.
Yeah, it forces you to look at that software sitting in your browser right now through a completely different lens. But to get there, we kind of have to start in the desert.
The desert, yeah, because we have to establish the historical foundation before we can even talk about the technology.
Right, so let's unpack this. The pastor's core theme here is this warning: do not believe in sensational words and deeds.
Exactly. He anchors the whole argument in the book of Matthew, specifically chapters 4 and 24.
Okay.
And he brings up this narrative of Jesus being tempted in the wilderness.
Okay, so what's the specific temptation he highlights?
Well, it's the moment where Jesus is basically challenged to throw himself off the pinnacle of a temple.
Wait, really? Just jump off a building?
Yeah, just jump off, simply so that angels will dramatically swoop down and catch him, like just to prove a point.
Wow. So it's basically a demand for a stunt.
Exactly. It's the tempter saying, give us a show.
Yeah.
Because throughout history, if you want people to follow you, you give them a spectacle.
Right. It's like the ancient equivalent of chasing viral metrics. Do something crazy, get the views, get the followers.
But the pastor focuses on the fact that Jesus refuses to do it.
Yeah.
And he unpacks why miracles, these big, sensational, flashy events, are fundamentally misunderstood.
How so?
Well, he argues that sensational events really only cater to what he calls fleshly curiosity.
Fleshly curiosity, okay.
Yeah, it's just visually stimulating. It gives the crowd this immediate, like a dopamine hit of awe, but it doesn't actually transform anyone's internal character.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate here for a second, though.
Go for it.
Because if I walked outside right now and I saw someone, literally part the Hudson River or levitate, my worldview would change permanently.
You think so? Right.
Right. I mean, aren't miracles supposed to be the ultimate marketing tool for these ancient texts? Why is the pastor suddenly warning against them?
That is the exact assumption the pastor targets. You assume a miracle would lock in belief forever. But the source text argues that human psychology is actually incredibly stubborn.
Really? Even in the face of literal magic?
Even then.
Yeah.
He brings up the Israelites wandering in the wilderness as his prime historical example. According to the text, these people saw mind-bending, physics-defying miracles every single day.
Right, like bread falling from the sky.
Exactly. Manna from heaven, pillars of fire, water coming out of solid rocks.
Yeah.
But the pastor points out the psychological result of all that.
Which was what?
It didn't make them more faithful. Seeing those miracles constantly actually made them more arrogant and rebellious.
Oh, wow. So it made them entitled.
Exactly, because a spectacle is just passive consumption. Miracles, according to his reading of the text, only solidify the faith of people who already believe. They do not convert skeptics.
Because the novelty wears off. I mean, if bread falls from the sky every day, eventually you just start complaining about the flavor of the bread.
Yes. The baseline for dopamine just resets. And that brings us to his reference to Matthew 24, which warns that false prophets are going to use great signs and wonders, specifically because it is the easiest way to deceive people.
Because we're addicted to the visual thrill, we just want to be entertained without having to do any internal work.
Exactly. And that human weakness, that desire for a frictionless spectacle, it hasn't changed.
Right, which brings us to the pivot. Because that ancient desire didn't just disappear, it just moved from the desert into the corporate boardroom.
Yeah, and this is where the message gets so incredibly relevant for us today. The pastor transitions from this ancient desire for visual miracles directly into our modern desire for instant, flawless digital creation.
He brings up some really specific modern examples, right? Like Google's NoteBookLM and these AI presentation generators.
Yeah, he asks his audience to look at their own work environments. Think about the business presentations, the quarterly reports.
He actually takes a second to contrast the past with the present, which I thought was super interesting.
Oh, the PowerPoint comparison.
Yeah, like 30 years ago, if you wanted to make a simple presentation in the early days of Windows, it was manual, time-consuming labor.
You really had to sweat over it.
You did. You had to manually format every text box, construct the argument piece by piece. The friction was so high. But today,
you can take a massive, disorganized folder of audio files and notes, feed it into an AI prompt, and in 3 seconds, it spits out a gorgeous, perfectly structured slide deck.
with the, what did you call it, the gold lettering?
Yes, the flashy gold lettering, the standardized public templates.
And here is where the expert analysis really connects the dots. These AI-generated presentations are, in the pastor's view, the modern sensational signs and wonders.
They absolutely are. They look beautiful, they dazzle the executive board, but they are incredibly easy to generate. They require zero human struggle.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting to me. We've traded, angels catching people off buildings for an AI generating a 50-slide deck in 3 seconds.
Right.
But I want to be clear here. The pastor is not just some anti-technology guy yelling at clouds, is he?
Not at all. And that is a crucial distinction. He explicitly accepts and even applauds that AI is a massive help for commercial and educational work. He is not saying we should go back to typewriters.
Okay, so if he admits AI is great for business, where exactly is the danger? Like, why does he care if a PowerPoint is made by a human or a computer?
The danger isn't the software itself. The danger is the internal cost to the human creator. He's asking, if we rely on this sensational shortcut, what do we lose in the process?
Okay, so it's about what happens to us when we stop struggling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he gets very personal here, looking at his own profession. He talks about how some religious leaders are now literally typing Bible verses into AI and having it automatically generate their sermons.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Just full sermons written by ChatGPT.
Yeah. And he views this as a drug.
A drug? That's a strong word.
It is, but think about it. Once you taste that level of convenience, you become dependent on it. You stop doing the hard work. You bypass the praying, the studying, the spiritual wrestling with the text.
Because the machine can just do it for you in 2 seconds.
Right. But the result, he argues, is just a soulless aggregation of data. It lacks true spiritual inspiration. It lacks what he refers to as logos, or the Word of God.
Because data is just information. But logos requires, like, the blood, sweat, and tears of the person creating it.
Exactly. And to illustrate this, he uses what I think is the most striking analogy in the entire source material.
A mother cooking.
Yes, the mother cooking analogy.
Break that down for us because it really changed how I view this whole topic.
Okay, so think about an authentic message as being like a mother who cooks a meal for her children. She goes to the market, selects the raw ingredients, stands in the kitchen, painstakingly chops the vegetables, manages the heat.
She's putting her time and love into it.
Right. She infuses the whole process with her energy. Now compare that to using AI. Using AI to write your core message is like buying a pre-packaged meal, throwing it in the microwave for 3 minutes, and calling it nourishment.
Like a frozen TV dinner.
Exactly. Technically, the calories are there, it looks like food, but it entirely lacks the vital ingredient of personal investment.
So what does this all mean for you, the person listening right now? Because the pastor points out a really brutal truth here.
Yeah, it's a terrifying thought, honestly.
It is. He says, look, if a leader just uses AI to aggregate data, eventually the congregation or your clients or your boss, they're going to realize they don't even need you.
Right. Why go to listen to you read a perfectly structured but soulless AI script when they could just sit at home and use the AI themselves?
Exactly. It's a massive warning about making yourself obsolete by outsourcing your core thinking.
And that's why he tells his audience, do not be kidnapped by the technology of this generation. AI is a wildly effective tool, but it should not dictate the core narrative of your work.
You can't let the algorithm drive the car.
Right. You have to aggressively guard the authenticity of your own deep work against the temptation of that 3-minute microwave shortcut.
Because the trap is so subtle, you use it once, it feels like magic, everybody claps for your beautiful slides.
You get dopamine hit.
Exactly. And before you know it, your ability to actually sit in a quiet room and construct an original thought has just completely atrophied.
The human weakness hasn't changed. We still want the brilliant result. without the brain sweat. We want the miracle without the submission.
So, to synthesize this whole journey for you, we went from ancient scriptures rejecting flashy miracles in the desert right into a highly modern warning about becoming addicted to the flashy convenience of AI in the office.
Yeah, the ultimate lesson here is all about intentionality. Technology is a tool, not the master.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, it leaves us with a really provocative thought to mull over.
I love this part.
Because think about it, as AI gets better and better, it's going to be able to perfectly mimic these sensational, polished outputs. The AI presentations of tomorrow are going to be indistinguishable from human genius.
Flawless digital perfection is going to be incredibly cheap and completely infinite.
Right, so if perfection costs nothing, will human struggle, friction, and even slight imperfection actually become the ultimate premium marker of value?
Oh, that's such a good point, like handmade furniture.
Exactly. We pay a premium for a handmade table precisely because we can see the grain, the slight imperfections, the evidence that a human spent hours sweating over it.
Will that be true for our intellectual work, too?
That's the question. Will the fact that you did the cooking yourself be the only thing that keeps you relevant and authentic in the future? Something to think about the next time you're tempted to hand all your raw ingredients over to the machine.